The Pacific Theatre, 1943. Marine pilots flying the F-4U Corsair possessed the speed and firepower to dominate Japanese fighters, yet victory remained frustratingly elusive. The problem wasn't the aircraft. The problem was hitting a target that refused to fly straight. Deflection shooting, the art of firing ahead of a maneuvering enemy, so bullets and aircraft arrived at the same point simultaneously, demanded calculations that human minds could barely perform during the chaos of combat. Pilots estimated angles, anticipated movements, and fired where instinct suggested the target would be. Most missed. Ammunition crossed thousands of miles of ocean, only to stream harmlessly past enemy aircraft because pilots aimed where targets were rather than where they would be. Then British engineers delivered a solution that transformed aerial gunnery from an art requiring years of experience into a science learnable in weeks. The Mark 18 Gyroscopic Gunsight arrived in the Pacific during late 1944, and Japanese pilots soon discovered that American fighters had gained an advantage no amount of training or tactical modification could counter. Understanding why deflection shooting proved so difficult requires examining the mathematics of intercepting a moving target, while the firing platform itself maneuvers violently. A Corsair pursuing a zero through a turning engagement presented a constantly changing geometric problem. The pilot needed to account for his own aircraft's speed and direction, the target's speed and direction, the relative angles between both aircraft, the ballistic trajectory of the bullets, and the time required for those bullets to reach the target. At typical combat ranges of 300 to 600 feet, with both aircraft maneuvering at speeds exceeding 300 miles per hour, the required lead angle could exceed 50 feet. The pilot had perhaps 2 seconds to calculate, aim, and fire before the tactical situation changed completely. Experienced pilots developed an intuitive feel for these calculations after hundreds of hours of practice. Most pilots never developed that feel at all. The 650 caliber M2 Browning machine guns mounted in the Corsair's wings fired armor-piercing incendiary rounds at 850 rounds per minute per gun, delivering devastating firepower when bullets struck their target. The challenge was making those bullets connect with aircraft performing violent evasive maneuvers across 3 dimensions of space. The Mark 8 reflector sight equipping Corsairs through early 1944 offered no computational assistance whatsoever. It projected a simple illuminated reticle onto a glass plate mounted in front of the pilot. Nothing more than a fixed reference point showing where the guns were aimed at that precise moment. The pilot estimated lead angle entirely through experience and instinct. First Lieutenant Kenneth Walsh of VMF 124 had mastered deflection shooting through natural ability and relentless practice. On May 13, 1943, he became the first Corsair ace by shooting down 3 Japanese fighters, demonstrating the skill level achievable through talent and dedication. Walsh possessed gifts most pilots lacked. He could sense proper lead angles, anticipate target movements, and fire at the exact moment when geometry and intuition aligned. His success came from an innate understanding of 3-dimensional motion that couldn't be taught. Training programs attempted to develop these skills through countless hours of practice against towed targets, but combat presented variables no training exercise could replicate. Enemy pilots didn't fly predictable patterns. They jinked, rolled, and dove unpredictably, transforming every engagement into a unique geometric puzzle requiring instant solution. British scientists had recognized the deflection shooting problem years earlier. Development of a gyroscopic computing site began before the war under the direction of researchers including Sir Melville Jones, A. Hale, B. Sykes, and Group Captain Ford. The fundamental insight was elegant. Gyroscopes maintain their orientation in space, regardless of how the surrounding platform moves. If a gyroscope was mounted in an aircraft and connected to the gunsight reticle through mirrors, the reticle would automatically lag behind during turns, calculating the precise deflection angle required. The British Mark II gyroscopic gunsight incorporated 2 independent gyroscopes measuring pitch and yaw, spinning continuously at 4,000 revolutions per minute once powered. These gyroscopes represented the mechanical solution to a problem that had challenged fighter pilots since aerial combat began. Ferranti played the central role in developing the complex gyroscopic and electrical components. Engineers faced substantial manufacturing challenges. The gyroscopes needed to spin at precisely controlled speeds, within bearings manufactured to tolerances measured in thousandths of an inch. The optical system required mirrors ground and polished to specifications exceeding commercial standards. Electrical components had to function reliably despite vibration, temperature extremes, and the electrical interference generated by radio equipment and engine ignition systems. When production began at a purpose-built factory near Edinburgh in late 1943, pilots who tested the device reported results that seemed almost magical. One Battle of Britain veteran stated he looked back on previous combats where enemy aircraft escaped and realized he could have destroyed them easily with a proper gun sight. The United States Navy and Marine Corps adopted the British design with minor modifications for American manufacturing and cockpit integration. The Navy called their version the Mark 14. The Marine Corps designated theirs the Mark 18. Both were essentially identical to the British Mark II. Sperry Gyroscope Company's facility in Lake Success, New York, employed over 20,000 workers at peak production, manufacturing gyroscopic gun sights alongside bomb sights, fire control systems, and navigational equipment. The Mark 18 was substantially larger than the reflector sight it replaced. Where the Mark 8 weighed perhaps 5 pounds, the gyroscopic sight system weighed 12 pounds and required significant cockpit modifications. Engineers explained the bulk was necessary. Inside the housing were 2 independent gyroscopes, precision mirrors, an optical projection system, and the electrical components controlling everything. The device drew electrical power from the aircraft's 24-volt system, requiring dedicated wiring harnesses and circuit breakers. Installation required approximately 8 hours of work by trained technicians who had to align the sight precisely with the aircraft's gun-bore sight axis. Any misalignment would introduce systematic errors that negated the gyroscopic computation advantage. Quality control procedures mandated testing each installed sight using ground-based alignment fixtures before releasing the aircraft for flight operations. The sight featured 2 independent reticles visible to the pilot. On the left side, a fixed cross indicated where the guns were actually pointed. On the right side, a gyro-stabilized reticle consisting of a center circle surrounded by 6 diamond-shaped pips showed the computed aiming point. As the pilot maneuvered to track a target, the gyroscopic reticle automatically positioned itself ahead of the enemy aircraft by exactly the correct lead angle. The diamonds served a dual purpose. They provided the range-setting reference by framing the target's wingspan, and they helped the pilot maintain situational awareness about where the guns were pointed relative to the computed solution. During high-speed maneuvering, the separation between the fixed reticle and the gyro-stabilized reticle could be substantial, sometimes occupying different quadrants of the pilot's field of view. This visual separation provided immediate feedback about deflection requirements that helped pilots understand the geometric relationships involved in 3-dimensional pursuit curves. Operating the Mark 18 required the pilot to perform several preparatory steps before engaging a target. First, he set his own aircraft's altitude and airspeed on control dials. These settings allowed the sight to calculate bullet trajectory and drop. Projectiles fired from a Corsair at 20,000 feet followed different ballistic paths than those fired at 5,000 feet, due to air density variations affecting both bullet velocity and drop rate. Second, he identified the enemy aircraft type and set the target's wingspan using a control on the throttle. Japanese fighters like the A6M0 had a wingspan of 36 feet. Bombers like the G4M Betty measured 70 feet. The wingspan setting enabled the sight to calculate range. Third, during the engagement itself, the pilot adjusted the diamond ring to frame the target's wingspan by operating the range control. When the diamonds touched the target's wingtips, the sight knew the precise distance. The gyroscopes did the rest. As long as the pilot kept the target framed and tracked smoothly, the computed aiming point automatically adjusted for deflection, range, and bullet drop. The pilot simply placed the center pipper where he wanted hits to strike and pressed the trigger. The sight handled calculations that previously required years of experience to estimate accurately. Training programs adapted quickly to incorporate the new technology. Pilots learned to trust the computed aiming point, even when instinct suggested they should aim differently. The gyroscopic sight eliminated the need for intuitive deflection shooting skills, but it demanded smooth, precise tracking. Jerky movements confused the gyroscopes and produced incorrect solutions. Pilots practiced framing targets, maintaining steady tracking, and firing at the computed point rather than where visual estimation suggested. The learning curve proved remarkably short. Pilots who struggled with deflection shooting using reflector sights achieved reliable hits after just a few training flights with the gyroscopic system. Demonstration results showed that the lower 75% of pilots improved their shooting to the level of the best marksmen, while the best shooters achieved even better results. One American test pilot reported the sight would improve gunnery at least 100% because shooting was currently pure guesswork for most pilots, and the gyroscopic sight eliminated guessing entirely. Training syllabi incorporated specific exercises teaching pilots the importance of smooth tracking. Instructors emphasized that the sight couldn't compensate for rough control inputs or unstable tracking. The gyroscopes needed consistent rate information to compute accurate solutions. Pilots learned to anticipate target movements and adjust their tracking smoothly, rather than chasing the target with abrupt corrections. Mark 18 equipped Corsair squadrons began reaching the Pacific Theatre in late 1944. Marine and Navy units stationed on carriers and island bases received the new sights as they became available from production lines. Initial combat reports indicated dramatic improvements in gunnery effectiveness. Pilots reported scoring kills with their first burst, something previously achievable only by the most talented marksmen. The sight proved particularly effective during complex maneuvering engagements. Pilots could engage targets from various angles during turning fights and consistently achieve hits as long as they maintained proper tracking. The technology fundamentally changed the tactical calculus of aerial combat. Previously, Japanese Zero fighters survived many encounters by exploiting their superior maneuverability to force American pilots into difficult deflection shots where human calculation errors provided some margin of safety. Against Mark 18 equipped Corsairs, that margin vanished. Any pilot who could track a Japanese fighter long enough to set range would score hits regardless of the maneuvering complexity involved. Combat camera footage showed the sight's effectiveness. Gun camera films recorded by Mark 18 equipped aircraft displayed consistent shot placement with bullets striking exactly where the computed reticle indicated. Earlier footage from reflector sight-equipped aircraft showed bullet streams passing ahead, behind, or to the side of targets as pilots struggled with deflection estimation errors. Japanese naval aviation intelligence first became aware of American gyroscopic gunsight technology through analysis of recovered Corsair wreckage and interrogation of captured documents. Technical specifications confirmed Americans had developed a fire control system that largely eliminated human error in deflection shooting. Japanese tacticians understood immediately that this technological advantage could not be countered through improved training or modified tactics. The mathematical precision of gyroscopes spinning thousands of times per minute could not be matched by human reflexes regardless of pilot experience. Japanese fighters had survived by exploiting their maneuverability advantage to create difficult deflection shooting situations. Against gyroscopically aimed guns, maneuverability became less protective. Tactical modifications were ordered across Japanese naval aviation units. Fighters were instructed to avoid prolonged turning engagements with Corsairs entirely. The new doctrine emphasized hit-and-run attacks, diving from altitude to make a single pass before extending away at maximum speed. Even these tactical adjustments provided limited protection, because the gyroscopic sight worked equally well during brief high-speed encounters. Japanese intelligence reports circulated through command channels documented the threat and recommended avoiding combat with American fighters whenever mission objectives permitted alternative tactics. The Battle of Okinawa during spring 1945 demonstrated the Mark 18's strategic value during the most intense aerial combat of the Pacific War. Beginning March 26th, Japanese forces launched almost 2,000 kamikaze attacks against the Allied fleet supporting the invasion. Suicide aircraft struck the naval armada in waves, testing the nerves of even veteran sailors. 36 ships were sunk, and another 368 damaged before Japanese attacks finally ceased in June. Corsair squadrons operating from carrier flight decks proved critical in combating the kamikaze threat. The gyroscopic gun sight enabled pilots to engage suicide aircraft with devastating accuracy during the brief moments available before impact. Pilots reported destroying kamikazes with short, precise bursts that would have been difficult or impossible using reflector sights requiring manual deflection estimation. The sight's ability to calculate accurate solutions during high-speed, high-stress interceptions saved ships and lives throughout the Okinawa campaign. Marine pilots flying from captured airfields on Okinawa itself used their Mark 18 equipped Corsairs to intercept incoming kamikaze formations before they reached the fleet. These defensive patrols required engaging multiple targets during single sorties, often shooting down 2 or 3 aircraft in rapid succession. The gyroscopic sight's reliability under sustained combat use proved its value beyond any peacetime testing or theoretical analysis. Beyond tactical effectiveness, the Mark 18 represented American technological and industrial capability. The device incorporated precision gyroscopes, optical systems, electrical components, and mechanical linkages manufactured to exacting specifications. Sperry's production lines delivered thousands of units, despite the complexity involved. Each site required careful assembly, calibration, and testing before installation. Subcontractors supplied specialized steels, alloys, electrical components, and machined parts that had never been needed in civilian manufacturing. The entire production infrastructure, from raw materials through final assembly, operated at scales that overwhelmed Axis industrial capacity. Japanese forces could not develop comparable technology, could not manufacture it in sufficient quantities even if developed, and could not counter it tactically once deployed. This asymmetry characterized the broader Pacific conflict, where American industrial might produce technological advantages Japanese forces could not match. German engineers had developed their own gyroscopic gun sight, the EZ-42, which saw limited service in FW-190 and Me-262 fighters. Approximately 200 were produced and field-tested, but production never reached scales comparable to Allied manufacturing. German pilots reported the sight enabled attacks from 20-degree deflection angles and effective engagement ranges up to 1,000 meters. The technology existed, but industrial capacity to mass-produce and deploy it across frontline units remained beyond German manufacturing capability during the war's final years. The gyroscopic gunsight's legacy extended far beyond World War II. Post-war jet fighters incorporated increasingly sophisticated fire control systems built on principles established by wartime gyroscopic sights. The concept of automated aiming assistance, mechanical computation of ballistic solutions, and human-machine collaboration in weapons employment became fundamental to modern combat aircraft. Korean War-era fighters used radar-ranging gun sights that combined gyroscopic computation with electronic range measurement, eliminating the pilot's need to estimate target distance. Vietnam-era aircraft employed lead computing optical sights with ballistic computers. Modern fighters use helmet-mounted displays and infrared sensors, providing targeting solutions regardless of where the pilot looks. Each advancement built on the foundation, established when British engineers first attached gyroscopes to gun sights, and proved that machines could calculate faster and more accurately than human pilots during the chaos of combat. The Mark 18 didn't make aerial combat easy. Fighting remained dangerous and demanding, requiring tactical judgment, situational awareness, and skilled flying. But the actual act of shooting, the moment when trigger met target, became more predictable, more reliable, and more lethal. The cumulative impact on Corsair operations proved difficult to quantify precisely from available records. F4. U-Corsairs achieved an overall kill ratio of 11-1 during World War II, with 2,140 air combat victories against 189 losses to enemy aircraft across 64,051 operational sorties. These figures represented combined results of aircraft equipped with both reflector sights and gyroscopic sights across the entire war. Separating the specific contribution of the Mark 18 from other factors required detailed combat action reports. What could be documented was consistent testimony from pilots who flew with both sight types. These pilots uniformly reported the Mark 18 made deflection shooting more reliable and less dependent on natural ability, compressing months of gunnery training into weeks while enabling less experienced pilots to achieve combat effectiveness comparable to veterans, transforming American air superiority in the Pacific from a goal requiring exceptional talent into an outcome achievable through technology, training, and the industrial capacity to equip every fighter with computational assistance that Japanese forces could neither develop nor counter effectively throughout the remaining months of the war.